Get out of the car, right now!
What is my offense, officers?
You don't question.
But why?
Deputy Kevin Nash had no idea what he just did. In the next 7 hours, his entire career would end. 20 badges would be stripped from his department. His city would face an $11.5 million lawsuit. The young man he just threw on concrete wasn't some random driver. He was FBI Special Agent Ransford Blay, working undercover for the Civil Rights Division. Ransford had spent 9 years investigating police corruption. He had 31 federal cases under his belt. His body was wired with recording equipment. Every word captured. Every threat documented. Every second of violence saved. The backup units Nash called were about to make it so much worse. Within hours, 8 federal agents would storm that police station with warrants. Before I continue, have you ever been treated unfairly by someone with a badge? Drop your answer in the comments. But Deputy Nash had no idea who he was screaming at. Ransford Blay was 36 years old. He worked for the FBI's Civil Rights Division in Atlanta. He spent his career investigating police who break the law. He was really good at his job. Blay had been with the FBI for 9 years. Before that, he was a federal prosecutor. He had a law degree from Howard University. He also worked as a community organizer fighting police brutality. He knew the law inside and out. He had won 31 federal cases. Other agents called him the closer because he never lost. Blay grew up in Atlanta. When he was 16, he lost a cousin to police violence. That's why he dedicated his life to this work. His boss picked him for this special job. She told him to study Millbrook County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. He found a pattern. Complaints kept disappearing. Deputy Kevin Nash's name appeared over and over. 12 excessive force complaints in 3 years. Every single one dismissed. And every single victim was African American. Deputy Kevin Nash had a reputation in Millbrook County. It wasn't good. Nash was 32 years old. He had worked for 7 years. He was still just a patrol deputy. He never got promoted. Other officers knew he was trouble. 12 excessive force complaints in 3 years. Every single one involved a person of color. Every single one was dismissed without investigation. In March 2023, he pulled over a college student. The complaint disappeared. Nash got a day off with pay. In July 2023, a teacher asked for his badge number. Nash twisted her arm. The body camera wasn't on. No consequences. In September 2023, Nash held a family at gunpoint. 2 kids in the back seat. The city paid them to stay quiet. Nash got 3 days off with pay. People at the station called him Cowboy Nash. Everyone knew he was dangerous. Captain Raymond Torres protected him every time. The union backed him up. On Thursday, October 27, 2024, at 3:15 p.m., Blay drove a silver Nissan down Route 9. He wore a business suit. Hidden recording equipment was in his tie clip. The FBI office was getting a live feed. Nash was parked ahead. He saw the out-of-state plates. He pulled out and started following. Blay drove exactly the speed limit. He signaled every turn. He did everything perfectly. Nash followed for 2 miles. He turned on his lights anyway. Blay immediately signaled right. He pulled into a gas and go parking lot under bright lights. He turned off the engine. He placed both hands on the steering wheel. The FBI office was watching everything. Nash walked up to the window. Webb stood at the passenger side. "License and registration," Nash demanded. Blay spoke calmly. "Can I ask why you pulled me over?" "Just hand them over," Nash said. Blay reached for the glove box. He got his documents. "I'd like to know the reason for the stop." Nash snatched the papers. "Chicago. You're a long way from home." "I had a business meeting in Atlanta," Blay said. "Now I'm heading back." "Can you tell me why I was stopped?" Blay asked. "You were weaving," Nash said. "I wasn't weaving. I maintained the speed limit and signaled every turn," Blay said calmly. Nash leaned closer. "Are you arguing with me?" "No, sir. I'm just asking for clarification." Nash stepped back. His hand went to his belt. "Get out of the car." I'd prefer to stay in my vehicle. Am I being detained? Or am I free to go? Blay asked. Nash's face got red. You're being detained. On what grounds? Blay asked. Nash turned to Webb. We got a sovereign citizen here. Webb looked uncomfortable but said nothing. I'm not a sovereign citizen, Blay said. I'm exercising my Fourth Amendment rights. Nash laughed. Your rights are whatever I say they are. I'd like to speak with your supervisor, Blay said. Nash's voice changed. Pure rage. Okay, sure. We can do this the hard way. I'm not trying to make this difficult, Blay said. You're making this real difficult for yourself. Last chance. Get out now. Blay stayed silent. His hands stayed on the wheel. A customer walked out of the gas and go. She pulled out her phone. She started recording. Car pulled into the lot. The driver watched. A resident across the street came onto his porch. Webb noticed. We got people watching. Nash didn't care. He called for backup. Then he stepped back from the window. He gripped the door handle. Nash yanked it hard. Once. The handle didn't budge. Twice. His face turned red with rage. He pulled with all his strength. The door frame creaked. The handle snapped. It broke clean off. Metal pieces fell to the ground. Blay didn't move. He didn't flinch. The federal equipment captured every second. Nash reached into the broken door frame. He found the manual unlock inside. He twisted it hard. The lock popped open. He yanked the door open so hard the hinges strained. He grabbed Blay by his suit jacket collar. He pulled him from the driver's seat. Blay's head hit the door frame as he was dragged out. Webb joined in. He grabbed Blay's arm. Both officers pulled him out. Blay's body slammed onto the pavement. His cheek scraped the ground. Blood appeared. Nash yelled, "Stop resisting!" But Blay hadn't resisted. He hadn't moved aggressively at all. For more patrol cars arrived within 3 minutes. Captain Raymond Torres arrived in an unmarked car. Torres looked at the scene. Broken window. Blood. Blay face down. Torres asked, "Did he blow?" "Refused field sobriety," Nash lied. Nash was making it up. Blay was never asked to do a field sobriety test. Torres ordered them to search the car. They found a briefcase with business documents, a laptop, a phone charger, nothing illegal, 0 weapons, 0 drugs. The registration came back clean. Blay's license was valid. No warrants. Torres looked confused. 3 witnesses had recorded everything. Sarah Chen was a 29-year-old nurse. She recorded the door handle breaking and the forced removal. Later, she told federal investigators, "The man in the car never moved, never fought. The officer just forced the door open with rage. It was terrifying." David Martinez was 52. He lived nearby. He watched from his porch. He said, "I heard the officer screaming. Then I heard him yanking at the door. The man being arrested was completely calm. This was wrong." Amanda Foster was 34. She was waiting in her car. She recorded from 20 feet away. She said, "I thought I was watching someone get killed. The violence was immediate and unprovoked." But Nash's body camera wasn't on. Torres made his decision. Take Blay to the station. Charge him with obstruction, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct. They put Blay in the back of a patrol car. His hands were cuffed. His face was bleeding. His suit was torn. They took Blay to the station at 4:30 p.m. They put him in interrogation room 2. They handcuffed him to a table. They left him alone for 1 hour and 47 minutes. At 6:20 p.m., Captain Torres came in. Torres asked, "You want to tell us what that was about?" Blay asked, "Am I under arrest?" "You're being detained pending investigation," Torres said. "On what charge?" Blay asked. "Obstruction, resisting arrest," Torres said. "I'd like to speak to a lawyer," Blay said. Torres pushed some papers across the table. "Fill these out." "After I speak to a lawyer," Blay said. Torres left. Blay sat alone for another 2 hours and 30 minutes. At the FBI office, Supervisor Janet Keller was watching the live feeds. She saw Blay's face hit the pavement. She saw everything. 8 agents were already getting ready. They were filing warrant applications. A U.S. attorney was on the phone. They decided to let it play out. But they would step in before Blay spent the night in jail. The timeline was 7 hours. At 11:45 p.m., the station had 4 officers on duty. Captain Torres was still there. Nash was doing paperwork. Webb was in the break room. The front doors burst open. 8 FBI agents walked in. They wore windbreakers with FBI in yellow letters. Supervisor Keller was leading them. The desk sergeant stood up. "Can I help you?" Keller held up her badge and federal warrants. "FBI. We are here for Special Agent Ransford Blay, and we have warrants for evidence related to case 2024-8847. The room went completely silent. Nash was sitting at a desk. His face went white. Webb came out of the break room and froze. Torres said, "Special Agent? What the hell are you talking about?" Keller asked, "Where is Agent Blay?" Willis stammered. "The man. The one Deputy Nash arrested at 3:15 p.m. He's in interrogation room 2. Keller told 2 agents, "Get him out now." The agents opened interrogation room 2. Blay looked up. His face was bruised. His wrists were raw from handcuffs. His suit was torn. Agent Sanders asked, "You okay?" Blay nodded. "I'm fine." Sanders unlocked the handcuffs. Blay stood up. He stretched his shoulder. Blay walked out into the main station. Every officer was staring. Nash's mouth was open. He couldn't speak. Webb looked sick. Torres's face turned red. Keller made her announcement. "Ransford Blay, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Civil Rights Division." Every interaction tonight was recorded on federal equipment. Every word, every action, every assault. All of you are suspended right now pending federal investigation. Nash said, "You're FBI? You set me up." Blay stayed calm. "I followed every traffic law. I asked politely why I was detained. You chose to force open my car door and drag me onto pavement. Nobody set you up. You did this to yourself." The FBI agents spent the next 3 hours at the station. They took 47 body cameras. They took 12 dash camera hard drives. They took 8 years of internal affairs records. What they found was shocking. Nash's body camera was turned off on purpose. They proved it. Webb's camera wasn't on either. He claimed he forgot it. That was a lie. Captain Torres had dismissed 23 complaints over 4 years. 23. He never launched a real investigation. They found that 8 different officers had the same pattern as Nash. Complaints dismissed. Victims paid off. Records hidden. The entire system was corrupt. By 3 a.m., Millbrook County Sheriff's Department was a crime scene. October 28, 2024. At 12:47 a.m., Nurse Sarah Chun uploaded her video to Twitter. Her caption said, "Millbrook County Sheriff Deputy forces car door open with rage and assaults compliant driver for asking why he was stopped. This is insane." By 1:52 a.m., the video had 847 views and 93 retweets. By 6 a.m., it had 12,400 views. At 9:47 a.m., the Atlanta Journal-Constitution published breaking news. The headline read, "FBI agent allegedly assaulted by Millbrook County deputy during traffic stop. Federal investigation launched." By 11 a.m., the video had 127,000 views. By 2 p.m., national outlets picked it up. CNN, NBC, ABC. By midnight on October 28th, the video had 2.1 million views. Twitter 1.4 million views. 118,000 retweets. 387,000 likes. TikTok 3.8 million views. 923,000 likes. Facebook 920,000 views. 78,000 shares. Instagram 1.3 million views. YouTube 2.7 million views. Reddit 512,000 upvotes. People were angry. Top comments said, "This is what they do when they think cameras don't matter. Imagine what happens when there are no cameras." That got 107,000 likes. Another said, An FBI agent. They assaulted an FBI agent and still thought they'd get away with it. The arrogance is unreal. That got 89,000 likes. On November 20th, the FBI said 20 officers should be fired. Deputy Nash was terminated. Deputy Webb was terminated. Captain Torres was terminated. 6 officers with dismissed excessive force complaints were fired. 5 officers who lied on reports were fired. 3 supervisors were fired. That was 20 total. On February 18, 2025, the city settled Blaze's lawsuit. The settlement was $11.5 million, plus $1.8 million for lawyer fees. The city implemented policy changes. Body cameras on at all times. Independent civilian board reviews complaints. No qualified immunity as a defense. Civil rights training every 3 months. City insurance costs went up 400%. 12 veteran officers quit. Property taxes went up 7%. Millbrook County was put under 5-year federal watch. In May 2025, Blay held a press conference. Over 50 reporters showed up. Blay talked about his injuries, his nightmares, the fear around patrol cars. He said, "I've investigated police violence for 9 years. I thought I understood what victims go through. I didn't. Not until I felt my face hit that pavement and heard an officer scream, 'Stop resisting,' when I hadn't moved." He explained the bigger picture. What you saw in that video happens every day to people who can't fight back. They get told their rights don't matter. They get hurt for asking questions. Then they get blamed for it. He had a message. If you've been told by police that you don't have rights, that's wrong. You have Fourth Amendment rights. You have the right to know why you're being stopped. He had a message for officers. To the officers who watched Nash force open my car door with rage and said nothing, you're part of the problem. To the departments that throw out complaints, you're creating more Nashes. He listed what needs to change. End qualified immunity. Independent oversight. A national list of fired officers. Officers must step in when they see excessive force. Body cameras that can't be turned off. Real punishment for lying. His final message was powerful. Dignity isn't something officers give you. It's something you have as a human being. When someone in authority takes it from you, that's not law enforcement. That's abuse of power. And we don't accept that in America. This case exposed something bigger. Between 2016 and 2024, over 85,000 law enforcement officers were investigated for bad behavior. Only 31% were fired. The Department of Justice found that 63% of excessive force complaints are dismissed without real investigation. Officers fired for bad behavior moved to new departments 42% of the time. Cities paid $3.2 billion in police misconduct settlements between 2015 and 2024. Taxpayers fund it. Most victims don't have Blaze resources. Most victims have nothing but their word. So here's the question. Should officers be able to hurt people for asking why they're being stopped? Should qualified immunity protect officials who turn off cameras and lie on reports? Should taxpayers keep paying billions for police bad behavior? Because if we don't end qualified immunity, if we don't create independent oversight, if we don't build a national database, we're just waiting for the next Nash. This happens in your city, in departments that claim they're different until cameras catch them. Comment below if you believe qualified immunity should be ended. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep fighting for accountability, because we can't accept this anymore. See you in the next one.